Okay, remove all of the bleed screws and dowty seals, then use the return stroke setter to make sure that the head piston is fully forward. As you can see it is. And as before with the priming syringes, we'll add approximately 30 millilitres or 30 cc's of oil into the priming syringe. As before, try to make sure that there's no air in the syringe or the extension. Just push any extra oil out until you can feel some in the rag. You know there's no air in then. When you've done that, do that with the other syringe and put one in each pull bleed port. Right, I'm going to push oil again from one syringe to the other. See plenty of air coming through. As any time when you're pushing oil through, make sure the plunger doesn't drop below 5 millilitres so that you can make sure you're not pushing further air into the system. As you can see, the plunger's moving further up and you've got quite a lot of air now that's been pushed out of the pull side. More air. Try to push as much oil through so you get as little air, but again remembering not to go below 5 cc's. You can see at 5 cc level now, lots of air come through. We'll start pushing through the other way. Again, important, even though the plunger's reading 20, because of the air, you need to make sure there's still a bit of oil there. You don't want to ever get to the point where oil has come through past the extension when you're pushing air back into the system. You can see more air coming through again. Right, you want to make sure that neither plunger is higher than about 30 millilitres when you've finished priming this, because we'll connect the tool to the air afterwards, and that ensures that the plunger stays within the syringe. Okay, when you made sure that neither plunger is over 30 millilitres high in the syringe, including air and oil, then we're going to connect the air supply to the tool. We'll then trigger the tool, keep the trigger held, and we'll disconnect the air when the air piston is in the bottom position. Okay, after that, remove the air supply, remove the priming syringe from the lower pull bleed port, and reseal with the screw and the dowty seal. Okay, once you've removed the syringe and resealed that port, make sure you've got at least 20 millilitres of oil in the other syringe. We're then going to use the pull stroke setter, and that's going to then position the head piston into the fully back position at 21mm stroke. And use both sides, winding into the head to push the head piston back. When the first travel on the pull stroke setter is done, we'll then wind it, spin it round, and then advance the head piston back for the second part of the travel. We'll wind this into the front of the head piston, into the front of the head. Right, now you can feel slight resistance now. Before you start winding anymore, you've got to maintain pressure on the syringe. So it's important to make sure anytime you wind the pull stroke setter, there's always pressure on here to make sure there's positive pressure going into the front of the head piston. Again, 27mm across flat spanner. I'm going to start winding the head piston back. Again, pressure at all times. When you're not winding, it doesn't matter, but as soon as you start winding, you need to keep pressure on to drive any oil in when